Well, hello there and welcome to another fantastic episode. Today is a pretty exciting day because I'm about to test ride the brand new R1300 GS Adventure. Now I'm just on my way to Vines BMW in Guildford and I thought I'd ride there on my bike. So this is my own GS Trophy 1250 GS Adventure. So I can go back to back, jump off mine, jump off the new one and let you know some differences. I'm not fat, guys, it's just the jacket. That's adventure. Ugh. Right, so this is slightly different from the norm. For some reason BMW have again released the new 1250 GS Adventure into dealers before the international press launch, which is a bit strange, but in order to get ahead of the game, I've managed to wangle a ride to do a first ride thoughts on the new 1300 Adventure and just do a simple real world first ride impressions of the new bike. You guys can then of course ask questions that I can answer on the launch. Go on, son. Whee! Hopefully this should be an all-round thrilling experience for everyone. It's carnage. It's absolute carnage. Anyway, so I've had a GS Adventure in my possession since 2014 and I find them such useful enabling vehicles to allow you to open up the world basically. And I know it's not the fastest and I know it's certainly not the coolest, but for me it fills an absolute sweet spot in terms of what I need to achieve whilst motorcycle riding. So let's not go too much on about the 1250, which I'm on now. Just know that I love it. Anyway, let's navigate these manky little roads and get to the dealership and check out the new one. Okay, bye. Right, well here we are then. This is the new, that is the old. And I mean, everyone says, oh, it looks so different, it looks so different. Honestly, in the flesh, it doesn't look that much different. Yes, from this angle, that tank is pretty big, but that tank's also pretty big. I think it looks great. This is obviously the triple black version. This is a ride height jobby, so I mean, I don't know how all the buttons work, but let's just, in the spirit of this video, which is just jump on and see what happens, let's just jump on and see what happens. New, old. And actually, the only thing I will say is, it does look a bit old, this. It does look a bit old. But I do like all the trellising and the crash protection and stuff like that. But as I said in the previous video, it's unmistakably a GS. Right, let's ride it. Okay, nice little welcome message. Right, so this is going to be a very basic level, simple video. I haven't gone through any specs, any stuff. I'm just jumping on it and I'm going to ride it because I'm going to be on this in a few days time for a couple of days with all the BMW guys, talking about the tech, talking about all that stuff. You know, they're going to be giving me brown envelopes stuffed full of cash to tell me how good their bike is. So before we get to that point, let's just ride the bloody thing. First impressions, much smoother than my motor. Gearbox is still a bit notchy. I noticed that on the other one, but then this is brand new. It hasn't been fully running. It's only got 103 miles on it, so let's take it slightly easy. It's got that 1300 clickety clack. I've got my heated seat on. I don't really need that. It's actually quite warm. It's a balmy 14 degrees out there. The amount of technology on this bike is sometimes quite overwhelming on lots of new bikes. It's like, well, how do I do that? I don't know what to do. I presume I just go, what's that? Oh no, that's the windscreen. Oh, let's put the windscreen up first. There we go. Look at that. Finally, GSA with an electric window. Lovely. Ooh, made that much difference. Anyway, right, now we can go into heating. Okay, off. Okay. Oh, and is that the automatic ride height? Oh no, that's the traction. That's the thing. Jesus. See, there's so much going on. Ride height. That's what I want. Right, we're on auto at the moment. Where am I gonna go? Let's just cut everyone up. I mean, it still feels very much like a GS. It's pretty much the same. Ride height, how do you do that then? Oh, it's going up, it's just gone up. Oh, it's gone up, ooh! Okay, so we're in the tall position, okay. That's nice for Big Daddy, I'll leave that. Okay, I'll leave that up there. Confusion technology. These are nicer. I think on the standard 1300, they're different colours and they're a bit weird. Bars feel lower, and I don't have bar risers on my bike. It does feel slightly more sporty position than the 1250. Yeah, very comfortable. Seat's nice. It's firm but damped for my body. The ride height in high mode is nice. It's taller than my bike. Whether you'd want to have, I mean, I think only vertically challenged people might want to have that auto ride height thing. It's quite expensive. It's quite a cool gimmick, I suppose, but I don't think if I was to spec my own one I would bother. As before, we've got all the standard modes: dynamic, eco, blah blah blah. You can go in and spec them, but let's not get too bogged down with modes and buttons. I think let's just ride it and just see how we feel on it. This is the model with the clutch. I am actually going to go and take out an ASA, I think that's what it's called, version when I get back, so I'll do a comparison between those two. Well, let's do a bit of town riding first, see how we get on, and then we'll go out to some sweepers. But we're in Surrey, so basically every road is 40 miles an hour, so let's try to stay legal. Riding position, very nice. It definitely feels, it does feel a bit bigger than mine. This tank is pretty big. I like the presence it has. It's going to make those GS riders even more throttle happy off the lights in London on the commute. I'm a little concerned about these, I don't know if you can see what I'm looking at, those bar bits. If I was going to be navigating through traffic, have we got hill start yet? And bollards and stuff, you kind of want a bit narrower down there, so let's see what happens with that. I see why they've done that. They've done it because if the bike falls over, it's not going to topple all the way over, so rather than having a big metal thing around here, they've put that little fold, the little flap on it. Switch gears, same as the 1300, everything's very similar. Nice big flap in there. My phone wouldn't fit in that, but it's still nice and big. Got some luggage handles. It does feel heavier than the 1300. It does feel calmer so far than the 1300. Definitely got a decent amount of torque, but it does feel quite controlled. It doesn't feel that the non, in fact, I'm just going to call it the 13, and this is the GSA. The 13 is almost like a really big super motard, and it feels quite stiff and racy. Actually, it does feel quite sporty, whereas this definitely feels a bit more leggy, as in a long distance vehicle, which is exactly what you want on the Adventure. It feels very calm at the moment. The only thing that's making me not calm is the amount of buttons to push, but calm is what you want on a long distance journey. Of course you want a bit of excitement, I'm sure we'll get that in a moment, but you want, like, the reason this bike is so successful is because it's so easy to travel on. It's so easy to use, and yes, it might be 40 horsepower down than some of its competition, but in the real world it doesn't make a bean of difference. I remember years ago we did a like a straight line sort of test on a motorway with the new Super Adventure and a 1250 GS, and there was nothing in it. If anything, the GS had a little bit more, up to about 100. This was on an autobahn in Germany. And then the KTM, longer legs, it then started disappearing. But really, how often are you going to be doing well over 100 miles an hour on this bike? It's not really designed for that. And that's why I love the GS so much, because it does feel like you can just go anywhere on it, and it's your travelling mate, it's your companion. And I'm quite happy to report that and I don't know what they've done, whether they've changed the suspension or made some chassis tweaks, or maybe it's the extra height suspension, I don't know, but this definitely feels more relaxed over the standard 1300. Not lazy as such, but perhaps a little less nimble. My 1250 feels a little easier to turn in. This is a bit, it's got this kind of once you set it up for the corner, it just sort of sits in it. It just sort of stays in it. rather than constant adjustments. And I think from an excitement level, that's probably not quite what we want, but from a long distance travel companion, that's exactly what we want. Ease of use. I want to go to Sheer. I want to go to that pub that Jude Law and Cameron Diaz had a kiss in the film The Holiday. I love that film. So look, bit of town, bit of suburban traversing. Fine, absolutely fine. I'm actually quite looking forward to not having a clutch, so I don't have to think about it. Yeah, I can put it in neutral, sure, but I think this is I think it's going to be good. If you're going to go for this level of technology in a motorcycle, you might as well go all in. The RPM, I think the 1250 seems like it's got a lot of its power down low, whereas the 1300 it's more revvy. Oh, it's got a radar thing. F off. It automatically put the brakes on then, which I didn't like. Got wheelie control on as well, so okay, we're getting exciting, we're getting exciting. Oh, there's something wrong. Oh, it's got that ABS thing, it's got the lift control on. This is it, this is where I want to be. Beautiful, smooth, crisp throttle. Feels like it's if you had a throttle curve which is a bit jaggedy, it feels like it's just electronically smoothing everything out for you. Put the windscreen up. It's quite tall, it's good. Put the brakes on hard and nothing there. Let's go get a coffee, and I'm going to set the bike up how I think it should be set up, and then we'll have another go at it. It feels like, maybe it's just there's a load of fuel in this, but it feels like once you've tipped it in, it stays in. Like you could almost let go of the bike completely, and it just sits on that trajectory you've put it on, which again is for low effort riding. You're not having to constantly adjust the bike. Let's put the windscreen down, because you do feel a bit stupid. This windscreen's so tall, it does feel a bit, hello! The brake lever is much closer to the bike than on the 1250. But yeah, all right so far. It hasn't set my world on fire, to be honest. Where's the off? Oh, it's got this, oh, it's automatically lowering, look, so you can get off it. So yeah, I mean, in the wild, I don't think that tank looks big and bad. These little things, by the way, you get bags to attach onto that, and it actually makes this slightly cheap aluminium bit make sense. The lacquer quality and the brushed aluminium under here is lovely, very nice finish, and the whole thing is actually finished really nicely. How long it will stay like that, I don't know. These DRLs look a little bit cheap, if I'm honest. I like the X headlight. The screen is what it is. It's very functional. These Indian elephant Indian elephant ears are quite large. Brakes look good. I think it almost needs panniers to balance it out. And this, I don't think this is a good solution at all, if I'm honest. It seems just so over-engineered. Obviously all the tech, we've got radar, rear, front, blind spot protection, all of that stuff. Right, let's go and get a coffee. In fact, when we get a coffee, we can put it on our little coffee holders, which is basically why you buy a GS anyway. Cheers, boys. Right, what's going on here then? Thank you, mate. Average speed check, yes! That's what we love. Welcome to the world. So, okay, initial thoughts. That it's a GS. They're not gonna ruin it. It's still 95% of the same as all the other ones. It's just got a whole lot of technology, which I think initially it's like when you buy a new DVD player and you don't know what all the buttons do. You're a bit like, oh, I don't know. But I think once you get used to it, a lot of this stuff is going to be really useful. I understand people's opinion on technology ruining motorcycles. I get that, I understand it, and it's expensive to put on the bikes and all that sort of stuff. I'm definitely in the wrong place here. I'm going to do a Yui. Anyway, technology, bikes, welcome to the world. If you don't like it, go and buy an old bike. That's simple as that, or a cheaper bike, whatever. So I've changed the settings so now we can actually brake we can actually put hard brakes on. I mean, that lift control thing is so bad. Oh, what? We've got to go around the bloody system! But now we're in Dynamic Pro, it's livened the whole bike up a bit. Maybe it's changed the suspension a little bit, oh, but it feels less heavy and cumbersome. Less cumbersome. 20 miles an hour. 20! Oh, there's no one even here. 20 miles an hour. Right, Sheer, this is where the pub was that they met at Christmas. This is 20 as well. Oh my f***ing god. I can't. So I can imagine this, you might be touring across Europe and you find little villages, and it's a very comfortable place to be, this bike. Look at this, quintessential Britain. Cuckoo Corner. Welcome to the Co-op. The Dabbling Duck, cafe and restaurants. Oh, these ducks are dabbling. As if by magic. So this pub here, I think it's the White Horse. This is where The Holiday was filmed. I'm not going to go in because I just want to ride. Just want to ride, man. Let's try and find some fast roads that are more than 20 miles an hour. But it is a good test to do, like a dynamic test. I'll be able to tell you that when we're on the launch in Spain. But this is a real world. This is real world UK riding. The only thing that's not real about it is it's not pissing with rain. And now it's a 30. I can't deal with it. It's definitely not as, I don't think this is as stiff as the non-adventure version. It's still definitely quick to turn, but it doesn't quite have the sharpness of the non-adventure, which I like. I like that. That's why people buy this bike, is because they want to make their lives easier. Oh, look at this. Welcome to Britain. Right, so we're just going to head on to a motorway type road and see what the wind protection's like. A lot of GS's are used for sitting on the motorway and munching out the miles, particularly if you're going to go ride to the Alps or something. Most people tend to just burn it there and then enjoy their time in the hills. I mean, the wind protection is pretty good. I could do with another flap up here though, but that's just because I'm particularly tall. I did notice I've put it into road mode and changed the suspension down to make it super soft. So this is super soft mode, and dynamic I put super hard. But you can only choose one custom mode, which is Dynamic Pro, which is a real letdown for me. I thought they would have figured this out by now. Like on an S1000 you can have 3 custom modes, because I might want a soft suspension mode but still be able to put a wheelie into a skid or whatever, and you can't do that. It's just all the technology, and the bike is amazing in so many ways, but it's just let down by such a simple thing as just having another custom slot. But yeah, I could easily, in fact, let's try the leg rest. Oh, that's what they're for. Oh, that's lovely. Oh yeah, that's lovely. Oh, I've run out of space on my thing. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, I don't think the bars are lower. The seat is higher. This is a normal seat, I believe, in high mode, and I like that because my legs aren't as cramped. I think the 1250, I'd love to see a torque curve actually, because I think the 1250, it feels like it's got more low down torque. Like it feels like that's where it sits. This 1300 is a bit more revvy, so you tend to ride it in a lower gear. I don't like the noise it makes, I'll be honest. Sounds a bit broken. This tank is gorgeous. It does feel like a big flat box you're sort of sat on, but the finish of the bike is excellent. Can't fault that at all. I mean, the switchgear is basically the same, apart from they've added this complicated button here, which I suppose once you get used to it, it's not going to be that complicated. Wind protection is better compared to the old 1250 Adventure. I'm not going to talk too much about the radars and stuff, that's just technology. I'm personally not into that, and if I was going to spec this bike, I wouldn't spec it with a radar. It's alright. I love that. I used to have one. Beautiful. Love that. Motorcyclists are great, aren't they? I love that blue S1000. Blue Fire it was called. So I'm going to go back now and jump on the ASA, give that a go, the automatic clutch thing. But generally, look, it's an evolution of the bike. I do think that there are elements that look a lot better on this bike. I prefer the headlight cluster and all that stuff. The headlight I liked the most was the 1200 with the G light, I think they used to call it. I'm not sure about this constant technology input, and I'm sure I'll get used to it. If this was my bike, I'd love it because I can, you know, push buttons and stuff. And I'm sure the demographic of GS riders will love all of that stuff. They will. So that's all good. I mean, honestly, there's not that much in it, really. I think this is a looks and technology upgrade. The motor, I don't really notice that much difference, to be fair. You ride it differently. You ride this more revvy. The 1250, I think, is more like brapping, like brap, brap, brap. But yeah, for something this big, it handles beautifully. It's really comfy. It's exactly what you want to have to ride to Istanbul or something. Stick a load of luggage on it. Has it set my world on fire? Maybe when I'm out in Spain and the roads are dry and it's a beautiful experience and you can open it up a bit, maybe it will. But at this point, I'm quite happy with my 1250 until it runs out of warranty. That's really not what BMW want me to hear. Oh, it's doing that lowering thing. It's weird. Very interesting. Right, let's go and get on the ASA. Cheers for watching, guys.